All right, good morning. Today we're going to talk about the writing procedure for online coursework. And I think this is probably one of the hardest ones to get the rhythm of. But then once you have it down, it's really not that bad to do. So getting to your docs is going to be the first thing that you want to be confident in. And then the second thing is going to be sharing your doc and or letting me know if you've edited your document so I can go back and take a look at it. Um, so the first thing that you always want to do when you open up your device is to make sure that you are signed in as you using your student number, your lunch number at sptsd.org, and then your password, which is your birthday. Sometimes you can be in your device, especially if you're sharing it with someone else in your home, like I do from time to time. You can see my daughter Maeve is signed in over here. So I always like to go back and switch it so that it's me. Okay. So that's the first thing. Now, to get to your docs, there might be a faster way that some of you know, but I think the easiest way for me is I go to Google, which I'm already at. And then I've heard people call this a waffle. I've heard them call it like a telephone keypad. But if you click on here, this will take you to all of your apps that you have. Sometimes the apps can be hidden down below. So if you open this and you don't see the word docs right away, it just means that you need to use this scroll bar and go down and find it a little bit more. But you can see here's my docs, and yours will look the same thing. So once you click on that and you go into your docs, these are all of the writing pieces that you've worked on, and it will only be the writing pieces that you've worked on. So we haven't done a whole lot of docs this year because we were late to get our logins. But what's nice is it'll organize for you since you've worked on it. So these are some of the things that I've made. And then you can see that there's also docs that people have shared with me over the past week. Keely, Mia, Kaylin, Amaya, and Dylan have shared some things with me. So once you're in here, if you are starting a new doc, you just click on blank. And I recommend calling it something that you're going to remember what it is when you go back into your docs to see it. So if it is, let's say, pirate story, I want to change that first. That way, when I go back and look for it later, I can find it pretty easily. But then as you do your typing of your story, for the writing process, we're not worried about spelling or organization right off the bat. You can do your rough draft. And then if you go up here and click on share, it's going to ask you who you want to share it with. Now, you know that my email is csmith, but even if you don't, you just have to kind of put in csmith and two choices will come up. The shorter one is the one that you want. I don't know why they still have that one on there. And then you're welcome. You don't have to add a note, but if you click on send, what that will do is it will send me an alert that you've shared a document with me. What I will do when I get your document, and what I've tried to do so far with the ones that I've gotten, is go back in and make some comments as far as things that you can work on. And there's two ways that I can do that. I can actually highlight something and leave a comment, or I may just type right on the body of your text. Now, why that's important is if you go back and make further changes and you reshare it with me, I'm not 100% sure if I get notified a second time. So the other option that you could do, if you go back and make changes to your story, all right, I've changed my story. And if you're worried about resharing and it not getting to me, you can always go back into the classroom. And if you comment anywhere in here, I will find out, and get notified that you have a document. So if you say, Mr. Smith, I shared, or I guess reshared my pirate story. And then I will find out that's where it goes. I really like this practice of writing on the Chromebook because that's the way writers write in the real world. They're typing, they're going back and they're editing. So we're going to stick with it, and you want to get comfortable with this routine because when I assign you something to write, I want to be able to go in and see that you are doing it. As always, if you have any questions, just ask.